just a word as to how we'll proceed with this. I'll call the person doing the introduction up, and they can go ahead and do the introduction. And at the end of that, we'll call the awardee up, and I'll read the plaque, and I'll award that, and it's going to be Hall of Honor. So, without further ado, I think our first introducer is our Valentine.
Thank you, Steve and Steve. It's wonderful for me to see so many old friends and athletes and their families from the college. My time for Warren Pacific goes back when I was a student there back to 1973. And so it's great to see many of the old timers here today. I was hired at Warren Pacific College in the spring of 1999 to come back and resurrect the athletic programs. The college had been without sports for a period of 8 years. So I was hired as the director of athletics and as the men's basketball coach. Started in April, trying to build a team for that next fall. Now, at that point, we were already missed the key recruiting season, and so I'm trying to find players, and we're looking at young men that maybe were at community college or high school and haven't signed in the open signing period, and are still looking for a place to play. I can tell you the pickings were a little bit slim, and I think I had until the fall to have a team together. So in getting the word out, I was told about a player at David Douglas High School who might be a good fit, who had just had a nice senior season, and his high school coach told me he'd be a great fit for a Christian institution like ours. So I contacted Matt Segrin and invited him to come to an open gym. We got to meet him a little bit, watched him play with some guys at our open gym, and came away with the thought that that's right, he's a great fit for our institution, great character kid. Yeah, he's an okay player. He could help us win some games in a couple of years. Boy, was I wrong. And I was wrong in the right way this time. Now, overall, that recruiting didn't go great. We got time to start the season in the fall, and I looked at my team, and what I saw was 6 players that could probably play some, and 3 or 4 cheerleaders on the bench. And that's the truth. I'm not exaggerating. And so with that kind of thin roster, this freshman from David Douglas High School had to play. So we threw him out there. Well, that first year, Matt Segrin led the team in scoring, led the team in rebounding, led the team in block shots, led the team in field goal percentage. He averaged about 17 points a game, shooting, if you're a basketball guy, shooting as a freshman at the college level, 59% from the field, just phenomenal. And had an unbelievable season. We actually won a playoff game in that first season, which I still look back and say I'm not sure how, but the young man that we're talking about today is a big reason of why that happened. Following that prodigious first year, Matt went on to be a perennial all-star player in the Cascade Conference. When his 4 years were done here at the college, Matt made a significant assault on the career records at Warren Pacific College in the basketball area. Currently, at this point, Matt Segrin is the #1 all-time scorer for Warren Pacific College, 2,209 points in his career. He's also #1 on the career list for field goals made, field goals attempted. He is the 2nd all-time leading rebounder in the history of the college. He's 2nd all-time in block shots in the history of the college. He's 6'3". Put up those kind of numbers, rebounding and block shots and scoring. Yes, that skinny little 18-year-old did okay for himself. Matt was born in Poland on September 14th, 1980. His parents down here are Scott and Joan Segrin. He grew up in Southeast Portland, went to school in the David Douglas school system. Matt had 3 older sisters. You probably thought it was 4 sometimes, because that's, I'm sure, one of the reasons he had to develop a little bit of toughness that we saw later on in the court during the battle of sisters. In addition to Matt's bachelor's degree in physical science that he earned at Oregon Pacific College, Matt went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and a Master's in Atmospheric Science at Oregon State University. Currently, Matt works for ODOT in LeGrand using his engineering degree as an associate roadway designer in the East. He's married to Catherine. They have a lovely little 2-year-old daughter, Evelyn, and another child on the way in April. So enough of the impressive stats, facts, and dates about Matt Segrin. Let's talk about some of the things that really make a difference in terms of him being a candidate for the Hall of Honor at Oregon Pacific. The NAI prides itself on the student athlete, which means we're interested in not just winning games, but we're interested in the student athlete who is a strong academic student and who has a strong character. Matthew Segrin is a prototype of a student athlete. Very few college students major in the sciences. They're rigorous, they're difficult. They have long labs that take away from practice time. Matthew got 3 degrees in the science area and excelled in all 3 of those degrees. As a person, he also excelled. Working with Matt over 4 years through the joys and the pains, the sorrows of winning and losing, I never saw his character even waver. Matt could always be counted on to operate with integrity, with honesty, with a sense of responsibility, and he did it all while having fun. You can't do it better than that. Matt is a fierce competitor. He was as tough a competitor as anybody in the conference over those 4 years. He never gave in. But through that time, he never crossed the line in terms of his sportsmanship. He was a model in that area. He had the ability to raise his play at big moments. We won games because Matt would step up when it was time to win a game, and he did it many times. I recall a game here in Oregon Pacific. We're playing highly ranked Southern Oregon. They scored to tie the game with 6 seconds left. We had the ball out on the far end line. Okay? So I could take a timeout and bring the kids over. It's one of my brilliant coaching strategies. I said, all right, we're going to inbound the ball to Matt. Who's our power forward? Okay, 6'3". We inbound the ball to Matt. Everybody get out of the way because he's going to dribble the length of the floor and score for us to win the game. Guess what happened? Exactly that. He banked in a difficult runner at the buzzer, and we won. And I was thinking this week about that. I was thinking that Pete Carroll could probably learn something about giving the ball to your best player and getting out of the way. Matt was a leader by example on and off the court. He didn't always have a lot to say. I know he's shaking in his boots right now because he's going to have to talk in a moment. But Matt spoke volumes with his work ethic, with his loyalty to the team, with his character. When Matt did say something, it mattered. Other players looked up to Matt. This is the leadership style that's apparent at David Douglas High School also. A little story about that. When Matt was a senior in high school, I'm not sure what persuaded him to do this, but he wore knee-high socks. Now, knee-high socks were not in at that time, okay? We're not talking about the 70s when I played. He wore knee-high socks to practices and games. He was the only player on the team to don such attire. Soon it became a discussion amongst the team, amongst the spectators, and later amongst the administration of the school. And the administration talked about it and said they needed a dress code for the teams, because this wasn't going to work. And so they mandated that all the players on each team would wear the same uniform, the same shoes, and yes, the same socks, calf length. Well, as fate would have it, Matt got sick just before the next game. Came down with high fever, wasn't able to play. So Matt's home. Can you imagine the surprise to everyone in the gym when the entire team came out of the locker room to warm up for the game, wearing, guess what? Segrin socks, as they became to be known. From that day on, they were fondly known as Segrin socks. In fact, to honor their leader, the team did dress alike for the rest of the season. Same uniforms, same shoes, and of course, the Segrin socks. Matt clearly had the respect of his teammates. Along with his leadership abilities, another strength of Matt just always followed him around is that he's a man of faith. Once again, Matt didn't need to preach to anyone. The way he led his life then and the way he leads his life now demonstrated his love for God. As a father and a husband today, I know it's very important to him to be the spiritual leader of his family. Matt's mother recalls him reading her own personal Bible when he was just a little boy and leaving little notes for his mom in her Bible. She told me, and she smiled, and she said, I remember he left a note that said simply, I like you, Mommy. Like was spelled L-I-C. Matt has had a love for God since a very early age. The truth is, I had no idea what I was recruiting, what I was getting when we recruited Matt Segrin to Warner Pacific College. Yes, he turned out to be an amazing athlete. However, the reasons that we're celebrating his induction into the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Honor today, has much to do about the other qualities that I've mentioned. A final glimpse of who he is can be seen by looking at some of his own words. When Matt was a senior in high school, he was asked to do a project to come up with some sayings or phrases or words that he wanted to live his life by. Here are a few of the words that he wrote. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Always be yourself in every situation. Never go back on your word. Be a man of integrity. I love this one. Feel free to kiss your mom good night and don't be embarrassed about it. And finally, always play your hardest when you play basketball. Those are all Matt's words. Matt Segrin is a man of integrity. He has lived by those words consistently. It is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you the next inductee to the Warner Pacific College Hall of Honor, Matthew Segrin.
That's where the similarity ends. You were pretty good, I wasn't, so. Matt Segrin, Warner Pacific College Athletics Hall of Honor, basketball, inducted 2015. A four-year player from 1999 to 2003 for Warner Pacific College and Coach Bart Valentine. Segrin was a leader of the night men's basketball program as it sought to reestablish itself and enter NAIA competition. He led the team in scoring every year and finished with 16.5 points per game average in 134 games played. Segrin's consistent play resulted in the all-time record at Warner Pacific in points scored at 2,209. He is also number 2 all-time in rebounds, 861, and block shots, 88. In recognition of his excellence, Segrin was named first-team All-Cascade Conference after his junior and senior seasons. A diligent student, Segrin was selected as an AIA Scholar Athlete in 2002. Matt, it gives me great pleasure to formally induct you into Warner Pacific's Hall of Honor. Thank you.
that I do not like to talk about people, so this is probably going to be pretty short. But really, all the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and His work that He did on the cross at Calvary. Sometimes I get emotional because my wife's pregnant. But without that, I mean, life would be a lot different today. So, really, it's about Jesus. And so I just want to give Him the credit and glory for that. My experience of morning might be a little different than the average student because I commuted for my first 3 years and then I lived on campus. Senior, which was great, with a bunch of basketball players. What I really appreciated about coming here was that it was a Christ-centered school. And that you could see that Christ wasn't a central part of it. I loved going to the chapels. And what I really appreciated was that the professor was just cared about you as a person. Dr. Lawson was one of my first classes I went to, and he actually knew my name before he even got there. But that's one of his things too. So they care about you as people here, and not just want you to succeed in the classes, but they want you to succeed in life. And so that was something that's very special and that I really, really enjoyed about being in that university. In terms of basketball was huge. Coming out of high school, there was two criteria. Wanted to go to a Christian school. Wanted to go to Christian school and wanted to play basketball. So whoever had the foresight to bring athletics back to Florida Pacific, that was really good because that's part of the reason why I'm here today. So I appreciate whoever that was and the community that did that. But being part of the team, I really enjoyed being part of the team. Being a part of something that's bigger than yourself. It's not just about you. It's about what happens with the guys on the court and what we do and the blood, sweat, and tears that you go through to hopefully accomplish something great. I had something else I was going to say, but it's leaving me. But anyway, I would like to thank the community for this honor, for selecting me. It's truly an honor to be here. I'd like to thank my family for support. I had one or both of my parents in every game that I went to, and that's pretty rare. We went to Alaska, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and I always had somebody there supporting me. My then girlfriend, now wife, who's always been there for me, and if I talk anymore about that, I'll cry. So I won't go there anymore. My coach for recruiting me, for being a man of God, for being a good leader and example for everybody on the team, for being somebody that cares about the player more than just winning games. So having him back, being the first athletic director and coach at Hornet, bringing athletics back was a smart choice. My teammates, all my teammates, they deserve credit. Without a team, not really anything. So I really appreciate all of them. So just some verses to end on that I like to live by. Other ones than the coach wrote. Trust the Lord with all your heart, do not lean on his understanding. Acknowledge him in all ways that we make your path straight. It says Proverbs 3:5-6. In any situation that you're in, as long as you trust in God, he'll pull you through and he'll put you on the right path. So, and then there's another one. Zephaniah 3:17. Oh yeah, what is it? The Lord your God is willing to use my sake. He will take great delight in you. He will cloud you with his love and will stress over you with skin. Those are just words that usually come out. In front of people, it's really good, right? So, just encouraging words from the Bible. And if there's anybody here that does not know who Jesus is, I encourage you to talk to me afterwards, or a coach, or somebody else that does, because really that's the most important thing. So, thank you again. It's an honor to be here.